Hey guys, I hope you're doing well and trust you've had a fruitful Easter period. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of context, which I'm sure we all understand to varying degrees. I don't know if you've ever started watching a series, maybe with some friends where you're on season 3 and they start watching with you, but they don't have the context of the previous 2 seasons, or if you've been watching a movie and your friends arrive 10 or 20 minutes later, and what ends up happening is actually you have to answer a ton of questions, right? Like, is this person a good person or a bad person? Are these people friends or enemies? And so on and so forth. And it ends up becoming a bit irritating, right? It's because actually you understand the events taking place better than they do because you know the context in which they're taking place. Well, actually, it's the exact same with the Bible. In order to understand the scriptures more deeply, we need to understand the context in which they're being written and who they're being written to. Now, you may be thinking, well, Josh, I know how to get the context in a movie. I just start watching from the beginning. Well, how do I get the context in the Bible? And that's a great question. And the answer is with difficulty. It's hard to find the context in scriptures, but thankfully in the 21st century, we have access to an abundance of resources. For instance, we have access to commentaries, which are books written in conjunction with books of the Bible, which explain more deeply what's going on and what's happening and who it's being written to and who it's being written by. And those can be a bit dense and they can be quite complicated, but they are awesome if you're really into reading your Bible. Another example of this is the Bible app, where if you have the NIV translation, when you click on a book, it will have the chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, depending on how many chapters there are in the book. But before those, you'll have a little I. And if you click that I, there'll be a little prelude where you can read through and see what the context is. Another example, for instance, is the YouTube channel, The Bible Project, where if you search in a book and then type in Bible Project afterwards, a video will come and explain the context of the Bible. Now, why is this important? Well, let's look at an example. Let's look at the verse, Philippians 4, verse 4, which says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice." Now, you may originally think, like, man, Paul, that's easy for you to say, right? You're not living in the coronavirus era. Like, actually, I want to do anything but rejoice in the Lord. Actually, I'm quite frustrated with the Lord. And it's pretty rude for you to say that I need to rejoice in him. Actually, let me have a time of frustration. I have family members that are annoying me. I have not seen my friends in ages. And actually, I'm getting schoolwork at home. Do you know how lame that is? But actually, when we begin to look at the context of which Philippians is written in, we begin to understand that Paul isn't writing this letter from his sofa with all his friends, but actually he's writing this from prison. And we actually get a deeper understanding of what the verse means when we realize that Paul's writing this from prison, right? Because suddenly we realize, that Paul isn't saying rejoice in the Lord when the circumstances are easy, but he's saying rejoice in the Lord no matter what. And suddenly our understanding of the verse becomes a whole lot deeper. We're not just rejoicing because God's being nice to us and putting us up in hotels, but actually we're rejoicing in him because of who he is and what he's done for us on the cross. Now, as you can see, this is hugely important to the understanding we can have of the verse. Now, I want you guys to try this yourself. Now, what I want you to do is go and watch the Bible Project video on the book of Acts, right? And also then go and read the little I on the Bible app that we have. And then I want you to read, obviously not the whole book of Acts, but maybe a couple of chapters after you found out the context, and think about how the context has helped you improve your understanding of what's taking place in the book of Acts. I hope you guys are all doing well, as I said, and hopefully see you soon. I guess as soon as we can with all this taking place. But yeah, much love from my side.